Now we can do this without any chalk at all. Beautiful. Technology is the best. Right here. Where is the Museum of Natural History? Where is it overall? What? In New York City. In. We have in. Think always of in as there's a circle. And we're in the circle. Right? The Hall of Animals is a building. It's a room, rather. We're in the room, in. So that's why we use in, right? In is a very common preposition in Spanish. The problem with Spanish is I don't think you distinguish between in and on very much, right? It's pretty much the same, just like it is in Latin and Italian. So this gets a little bit confusing, right? What's the difference between in and on? In English, we really distinguish between in and on. In is like a circle, right? This is now like a cone. What's a cone? I can't do it.
Like an ice cream cone.
Yeah, I know, but I like to have like a physical. Let's go.
That's
Right?
okay.
It's kind of like, it's like a cone, right? So at the top, we have the circle, and then we have this is like the surface, right? The surface of the cone, just like this is the surface. When we think of surfaces, we think of on. On is about surfaces. It's on your desk. It's on the second floor. On the second floor. In the room, on a street, right? Because a street is like a line. We also think of on as like the surface, and on is like a line. Right? It's on a line. The line is 33rd Street or Central Park West, which is where the museum is. At, as we saw over here when we were coming up with examples, at is the most specific. At 123 3rd Street. The Museum of Natural History is at, I don't know. Can anyone see the address?
79th? No. Central Park West and
81st.
81st Street.
It's west, it's east.
East?
West, that's west.
I think it's west.
It's west. It's west.
Yes.
Central Park West and 81st Street, right? This is called a corner, right? And a corner is also a very specific place. Just like we see here, it comes to a point. Whenever we're talking about a point in space or a point in time, we use at 10 o'clock. But we're going to leave in the morning, right? In the morning. The morning is a time period that's bigger. So this works for space, and it works for time, right? And they work almost the same way, right? For space, in a room, in a time period. Like I was born in the 1980s, or I was born in 1980, right? I was born in 1980 on October 12th, right? On a day on the calendar, a point on the line. Think of the calendar as a line of time. On a point. On a day. On Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday. On. We say on for a day, for a time. On Christmas. What are we going to do on Christmas? Oh, I don't know. We're going to have a party. Right? On very specific days. At a specific time. I was born at 5:43 p.m. Or here, something 3:02 a.m. At noon. At midnight. Right? At noon, at midnight. The only reason why night is like this is because this is one exception. I hate exceptions, but it's an exception. We say at night. We say in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. For some reason. Night is just one time. That's it. Night. I don't know, but it's okay. That's what we do. All of this information is on the website, right? You can look at it on your phones. You can look at it on the computer. It's right there. Let's just scroll up quickly. So we can also, if we want to get really crazy like I love to do, think of it as ideas also, right? In my head, in my mind, in like a space that is imaginary. That's an imaginary space.
Thank you.
Right? In my experience. In my experience, I have never seen right? In a certain amount of kind of idea. In that. On, we use on metaphorically all the time. We are on the edge of disaster. We're on the edge of an election, right? The election will happen in a week. We have about a week until the election here in 2016, right? We're on the edge of the election. Where's the edge? I don't know. It's like in your head, right? But we say on because edge is still kind of like a line, right? There's a point, a line there. At the brink of disaster. If Trump were to be elected, we would be at the brink of disaster. What is disaster? Disaster is an imaginary idea. But when we say at, we mean very specifically at the brink of disaster. At an important juncture, at the crux of the story, at the climax of the story. You know, you're reading a story, it's just an idea, right? It's not a place, but when we're being very specific, at, we still use it, right? I'm at an important time in my life. That's like an idea. In my life, at an important time. It works very similar to the same thing. So also we say things, there are some very specific things we say with time, right? Are you in time? Are you in time? That means, did you get somewhere or do something within a boundary, right? A limit. There's a limit of time. Imagine a timer set to 30 seconds, right? And it goes 20 seconds, 10 seconds, 0, right? In time. And then there's no more. Are you in time? Are you on time? Think of time as a line. Did you get there at the right time? Like on in a point in time, did you arrive by a certain time? That's what we say. Are you on time for class? On time. Like time is a schedule, and you're on it. Like you're on a train. I'm on the train, I'm on time. So we can think of time as in time or on time, but it's slightly different, right? And it's very slightly different, but it's the same kind of idea, whether you're in something or you're on something. And finally, at the time, this moment. At, I'm going to meet you at a specific time. At, we have here. Where do we meet? At 10 o'clock at the ticket booth. We meet at 10 o'clock at the ticket booth. We're very specific.
I want to just give them an example of in time. In 20 minutes, we will go to the computer lab. So we have an amount of time between now and 20 minutes later. That is our circle of time. So in time, in 20 minutes, we will go to the computer lab.
Are you reminding me so that we can
I'm also reminding
get moving?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the reminder.